Up until about half a year ago, Anna was still living with the self-proclaimed Islamic State in Syria. And although she's now back home in Kosovo, she insists on wearing her niqab, or full body veil. While 90% of the population in Kosovo are Sunni Muslim, few women wear the niqab. Most people here practice a more liberal form of Islam.
Anytime I go outside, they look at us like a UFO. Aliens. I can see it's bizarre for them to see us like this. But for me, it's not a problem.
Anna stayed until IS lost its last holdout, Baghouz, in a military strike. Approved by federal authorities, we meet her at a lake outside Kosovo's capital, Pristina. Like all female returnees, she lives under house arrest, awaiting trial. Anna is the first Kosovo returnee to speak on camera about her experience. We wanted to know what she thought about the beheadings and other reported crimes against humanity committed in the name of the Islamic State. But Anna avoided our questions and focused instead on her own suffering.
But the airstrikes, when they came, they just bombed a house, a big building. There were kids there were women, mothers, everything.
At the Pristina airport, one night in April, Europe's youngest country and one of its poorest, brought 32 women, 74 children and 4 male fighters back home. All of them had been imprisoned in Kurdish camps in northern Syria after the military defeat of the Islamic State. The operation was a strategic move for the Kosovar government, based on the belief that back home under official observation, the returnees would pose less of a security risk than if they remained abroad. The aim is to reintegrate all of them into society, including the men who were sent to prison right away. Meanwhile, the authorities are closely monitoring the women and children and offering them counseling.
We didn't see any resistance from them to be part of our programmings. And maybe this also is due to the fact that they know that it was Kosovo authorities who took the decision to repatriate them in Kosovo. Otherwise, they would have remained in the conflict zone.
The Kosovar approach is unique. No other European government has undertaken similar steps. Rich Western democracies such as Germany, France and Britain have so far rejected any organized return of their citizens who joined the self-proclaimed Islamic State. The fear of not being able to control the returnees appears to be too great. Anna tells us she didn't know what she was getting herself into when she followed her husband to Syria in 2014.
I was going to go somewhere else with my husband. I didn't know I was going there. My husband prepared everything for me to go there, but didn't tell me. Suddenly, I found myself in Syria.
After her husband died in battle, she married another fighter whose fate remains unclear. Early this year, after the military defeat of the Islamic State, Anna surrendered. Like thousands of others, she ended up in the Al-Hol refugee camp, a living hell, she says. Anna cannot understand why other European countries are refusing to take their citizens back.
Because we are human. We are human. We are people. If someone makes a mistake one time, we shouldn't just leave them like that. The women, they are so sensitive. The kids, what is their fault? So we should help them. So we should help.
Friday prayer in a mosque in central Pristina. After the ethnic wars of the 1990s, religious organizations and charities from Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states had a growing influence in Kosovo. With them came a much more conservative school of Islam, one that taught the supremacy of the Sharia law and ideas of violent jihad. More than 400 young Kosovars joined extremist groups in Syria and Iraq between 2012 and 2017. The highest rate per head in Europe. The authorities are convinced that the Saudi influence was the driving force behind their radicalization.
I believe that the idea of the NGOs and the extremists that brought ideology here was to change the very core value of the society, to introduce political Islam in Kosovo, and also to establish network that one day they may have also political power and become a political factor.
The imam of this mosque in central Pristina, which itself is considered to be rather conservative, points to other reasons.
In our country, many young people didn't have any future prospects over the last 20 years. The main reasons for this are the poor economic situation, the social state of the country, and the lack of prospects in general. But we should not deny the role YouTube played in radicalization. I would like to point out that these people have not been radicalized by their religious representatives.
We are on our way to another of the 32 female returnees. Vlora agreed to an interview only on the condition of total anonymity. We are not allowed to show where and how she lives. Her first two husbands are dead, the third imprisoned in a camp. Like Anna, Vlora spent several years in Syria.
I was very young. I didn't think, I just followed my husband. I expected something totally different in life. That is why I feel betrayed. It was a mistake. War is not a place for women and children. War is bad for everyone. I would never go there again.
So far, Vlora doesn't have any concrete plans for the future, just hopes.
I want to live as a free person, integrated into society. I hope that the people will accept me as I am, even with my hijab.
Vlora, Anna and the other women, psychiatrist Valbona Tafilai knows them all. She is in charge of the government's Rehabilitation and Reintegration program for the female returnees and their children. Due to doctor-patient confidentiality, Tafilai won't say whether she thinks some of the women might possibly be dangerous. She and her team talk to the returnees on a regular basis, in the clinic and in their homes.
All the women and children who returned from Syria were traumatised. They came back from a war zone where they witnessed cruel crimes and heavy bombing, which has led to trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder.
There have been a number of activities specially designed to help the children cope with what they have been through. Young, innocent victims of a war their parents dragged them into. Back in a safe environment, they can finally play like other children. The older kids just started regular school after the summer holidays.
It is too early to talk about greater improvements, but we are seeing some progress back to normal life in Kosovo.
Kaçanik, about 50 kilometers south of Pristina. The small town of about 10,000 inhabitants at the border to Macedonia was considered one of the hotbeds of radicalization. About 24 people are said to have left for the war zones in Syria and Iraq from Kaçanik and the surrounding area alone. On the streets, people seem supportive of taking them back.
They have made mistakes, and we have to help them reintegrate into our society. These are our people.
It was a good decision to bring them back. I support this initiative. These people shouldn't have gone to Syria. We are in Kosovo, on the Balkans. We don't need wars. We have been through war ourselves.
I don't think these people have come back to do harm here like they did there. That's why we shouldn't exclude them.
Anna wants to leave the past behind. She says she feels accepted by her family and neighborhood. No one talks to her about her time in Syria. Anna is still making sense of why she's under house arrest.
We came from a war place and it's very...
We came from a place of war. It is very normal they are investigating us. But in the end, they will understand that we aren't at fault. We didn't do anything. Maybe our mistake is that we were there. We lived there.
Anna is still convinced that she didn't do anything wrong. But ultimately, that's up to Kosovo's authorities to decide.